Bello!
Bello!
Bello! Bello!
That's our Minions way of saying hello. Welcome back to the Daydreaming of Universal Studios Hollywood podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a recent trip that we just took to Universal Studios Hollywood. Good to have you all back again. We're going to kind of do a little bit of a trip report, and we're going to talk about our experience at Universal Studios. And I think that a lot of people here on the West Coast tends to forget about Universal Studios. They kind of go straight to Disneyland
Or Legoland.
Or Legoland or Knott's Berry Farm, and they don't even give this place a thought. I think that's a major mistake because I think we had a fantastic time there.
Yes, for sure.
I missed it already.
Yeah.
We do.
It was only 2 days ago.
Only 2 days. I'm your host, Chad. I'm joined tonight by...
Mrs. Day?
And?
Olivia.
And?
Sophie, that is now 10.
Now 10. Yeah.
Yes. You recently just had a birthday?
Right.
2 days ago.
You turned 10 on the way back home, right?
Yes.
Yep. So you got to spend the whole time driving back.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucked, but we got to hang out in the parks, and we got to experience your birthday there at the parks for a couple days. Pretty cool, right?
And on the last one we were leaving, we went to the pool in the morning, and we were the only people in the pool.
That was pretty cool, huh?
Way cool. We got there really early, though.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Sophie's birthday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the hotel, that's how we're going to start. We stayed at the Hilton Los Angeles Universal City. And what do you girls think of the hotel? Because I loved it.
I think it was so cool. They had like really cool restaurants, and they had like weddings going on like both nights. They had 24
Floors?
Yeah, they had 24 floors. We were on the 21st floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we had so we got kind of lucky. The first night we had a Universal City view, basically, so where we could see, we had a corner room where we could see the parks. That's a little bit more pricey. Luckily, we thought we were going to have to check out of that room and then go into just kind of a basic corner view room to where we couldn't see the parks, but still kind of cool. But they upgraded us, so all 3 nights we were in the same room, which that room, I've never had a room like that before. You could, and you can all kind of go into it too.
Yeah, like in the morning, you could see Hogsmeade and the Hogwarts Castle. It was so cool. You could see everything from where we were.
Yeah, and to the right, you could see like the hills where all the fancy houses were, and then to the left, you could see the park.
And then straight ahead was downtown LA.
And we thought that in this one hill, because in Hollywood, it says Hollywood on it. We think it is on the other side of the mountain of where we were.
Yeah, so that was about a 20-minute drive. We didn't do it, but that's what I kind of looked up. So a little bit of details on this hotel. That room that we ended up having is extremely window. Yeah. Every night I sat at a desk that was at this table, and I could just stare out the window and look at the parks.
And if anyone has watched the movie The Croods 2, that's the movie, right?
Window.
Where he sits there and just looks out the window. So that's why we give Chad a hard time.
Yeah, I get it.
It was pretty cool.
I get it now because I could sit there pretty much all day and do that.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. It was the coolest room we've ever had.
Yeah, you were like sitting there quiet. We're like, where's Chad? Where'd he go? Oh, he's sitting in front of the window.
Talking about views, just one time when we were in the park, this is just really quick, we saw Warner Brothers from up there.
Yes, we did, and I think we'll have to do that again.
We wanted to go back and do the tour.
Yes. Yeah. All right, back to this room. So that room we had the first night, spectacular room. Now, granted, this can change at any moment, depending on when you're there. This was a weekend, so we got there on Friday night. So the price for the Friday night room, Universal View, was $449.94. That was with tax. Ouch. Right? Ouch.
Yeah.
Crazy. So the other room, I guess I'll say what this room was. It's a one king bed, and it has a double sofa that folds out. So the couch folds out into a double bed, which you girls didn't think was all that comfortable, right?
I didn't, because like the bed, if you were at the head part was like facing up. It was all lumpy.
It wasn't. Yeah.
I usually sleep like when it's one time, like a couple times. When I wake up, I'm like, my feet are where my head is supposed to be, and my head is where my feet are supposed to be. And I didn't even mean to turn around. Like, just in my sleep, I just turned around.
Yeah, I did get on that sofa bed. It definitely wasn't all that comfortable, but it definitely was better than the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I think the floor was better.
And it gave, next time we'll get a cheaper room and you can sleep on the floor. But it did give me and your mom access to have a bed to ourselves, to where you two could have your own bed, at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
Once again, story of our lives, right?
I didn't.
Sophie still crawled for bed with us.
Because their bed wasn't comfy.
But the room was really cool. I'd never been in a room like that. Basically, you walk in and little table to your right where you could put some stuff, and then there was the bathroom. But this room was a corner room, so it was kind of neat because you had your bathroom with your shower and your toilet and another little spot with a mirror. And then you walk forward a little bit, and then you go to the left a little bit where the bed and the sofa was. So it's kind of unique.
I think that's cool about the room that we got is because also the window. But also when you walk in, there's like this tiny little hall, and first thing you don't just see the bed, because most of the time you just see the bed first when you walk in. But this time the first, when you walked in on the left, that you saw the bathroom, and then you had to walk in more and then go on the left, and then it was the bed.
Yeah, it was definitely unique from what we've been in before.
Very cool room.
Sure,
Yeah, I would definitely go back. Very nice hotel. Unfortunately, we didn't get to try any of the food there, have any of the food. We had other places for food in mind that we ended up eating at. But yeah, they had, when we got there that night, they had a seafood buffet with oysters and crab legs. It looked amazing, but Chad said it was like $85 a person.
Yep, $85 for an adult. I don't know. I think it was $55 for kids. Which is crazy.
Pricey. Pretty pricey.
This was a fancy hotel.
It was very, very nice. Very high class.
So the rates on the other room that I had booked that we got upgraded was a one king, one double sofa bed corner. Basically the same thing, but not Universal View. It was $312.50 a night, which is still
pretty pricey.
Still really pricey.
For this trip, we were supposed to have 5 people because Abuelita was supposed to come. But
she got
2 days before, she got sick, so she wasn't able to come on our trip.
And that
which was sad.
Yeah, I was going to say, that got you girls pretty sad, right?
Yeah, we really wanted her to come.
Yeah, I get it.
But I told her about the rides, like, I think it was today. Yeah, I did it today. And she's like, oh, no, that'd be way too scary.
She still seemed pretty disappointed she didn't get to go, though.
Yeah, it would have been nice if she would have been able to come, but next time. Now we know. We know a little bit about this place.
Going to plan a trip to go back. I mean, the hotel was pricey, but and we still had to pay for parking. What was that? $35 a night.
$35 a night
for parking.
Which
it's a long drive.
Yeah. Before we get into that, so more about this hotel. It had a pool. Now, this pool was nothing like when we were at Hard Rock or Royal Pacific in Orlando, but it was a nice pool.
It was nice.
Right?
It was smaller.
Yeah.
It had a hot tub.
It had some outdoor cabanas if you wanted to rent.
It was very
intimate. Know how much those were.
And
yeah,
it was very intimate.
And in the pool, there was a celebrity.
There was a celebrity. That was funny. We were all swimming, and I go to Paula, I go to your mom, and I say, "Hey, that's that's so and so, and he's been on American Pie, and he's been on
Rookie of the
Year.
Isn't American Pie a song too?
It is. Yeah. Yes. So Paula, your mom, wanted me to say something to him. I'm like, no, he's on vacation with his family. There's no way I'm going to go up to him. So yeah, I would never do that. But that was kind of cool. The pool was nice. It was very warm, actually, because I got in it that one morning that we all got in it. And
that was
it was
super
kind of
warm.
And the cool thing that I liked
95.
about... Really?
I think it was like 95 degrees, the pool.
The cool thing I liked about that pool, other than being warm, was the fact that it got deep in the middle. So, like, the Universal pools in Orlando, they're all just 4 feet. I mean, pretty much the whole way across. This one, I couldn't even touch without going underwater. So I think it was probably like, I don't know, 7 feet at the deepest, which was cool. It was nice. It was a nice change.
Me and Olivia could barely touch for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
they
it's
did have
still
some
fun.
shallow ends, but overall it was a lot deeper than what we're used to. And they had fake grass out there. There's a pool bar, and you could order some food too. There's a menu. We didn't order food from there. We did order some drinks, and those were fine.
They have ice cream.
Yeah, they had some ice cream.
Yeah, and I'd say the pool bar is nothing like from what we've been used to in Orlando.
As far as looks wise, it's
Right.
nothing fancy at all.
Nothing
It almost
fancy.
looks like a little mobile,
It's kind of like a food it's
like a food cart look or something almost.
That part I think could have been a little bit better. I think the pool bar.
But
but
the drinks were good, and everyone was really nice.
Well, and that's the
Everyone
thing.
was
You're going to
really
hear us
friendly.
say a couple things. Intimate, we're going to use that word a lot because this park, everything in this experience was a lot more intimate than what we were used to
What's
in
intimate
Orlando.
mean?
Intimate means
Closer.
smaller, closer.
Yeah. It was
things
kinda
like
cool,
that. Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed it. The other thing we'll say is everybody was happy. Like, I'm not saying that we had any negative experiences, in Orlando, but here it just seemed like everywhere we went,
Everybody
all the
was so
employees
nice.
were happy and they were wanting to talk to us, and it just seemed like they were loving life and having a great time.
That was better than the drive.
So yeah, I would say overall, this hotel super nice. The
It
other thing,
was.
I guess, one more about this hotel that was really convenient. It was an 8 to 10 minute walk, like I said, so that was really cool. To where if you're tired in the parks, you could just walk right back to your hotel. They did have shuttles. We didn't use the shuttles. We don't typically do that. We usually walk.
Well, I wouldn't see the point in using a shuttle from where we stayed. I mean, unless maybe you had a disability or couldn't walk
They say
very far or something
Or like if
that.
you had
But
a
it
wheelchair or something, it'd kind of be hard.
we timed it, and it was
yeah.
what did I say? 8 minutes.
It was about 8 minutes.
It was about like 6 to 8 minutes. They said that
It was 8 to 10.
it was supposed to be like 10 minutes a walk from the Hilton hotel that we were staying at. It was only like 6 to 8 minutes.
Yeah. So, anyways, it was super convenient. We especially like that, and we'll get into that later on with kind of what we did and how we utilized that. But I personally think that it's worth paying a little bit more for a hotel that's closer to the park like that, especially if you have kids. And depending on your kids' ages, I mean, even as adults, it's nice to be able to just walk back to the hotel, take a break, go for a swim, take a nap if you need to, put your feet up. It's worth it to me.
Yeah, and that's going to be the decision that you have to make for your family and your budget. I looked at a lot of different hotels, and yeah, you can save a little bit of money if you want to have to park, but like, Paul and I were saying, so say you stay in a hotel that's a little bit farther away that doesn't have a shuttle, then you're going to have to go pay for the parking at Universal Studios. So do your research. There's
then
really
you're there
only,
for the day too.
Yeah, there's really only the 2 hotels at this Universal Studios Hollywood that is within walking distance. There are some other ones that have shuttles, but as far as in a nice place and feeling safe, this place was awesome.
Yeah, that's important to safety too. Like feeling safe and secure. And we walked at night and didn't feel unsafe at all at any moment.
Yeah, it was fancy like.
Yeah, I could get used to that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, me too. So that's kind of the hotel. I mean, overall, I was very impressed with the hotel. Girls, out of 10, what do you think, Olivia?
I think... Wait, out of the hotel?
On a scale of 1 to 10.
10.
10 being the best.
10.
I give it a 9.
10.
Wow. All right. Cool.
When are we going back?
As soon as we pay off some debt.
Will they give us a 50% discount?
Maybe.
You got $100 today.
Maybe if we send this episode to them and tell them how awesome how much we like the hotel, they'll give us a free night. You think?
Or if they give us $1 million a week.
Wow, kiddo.
No,
okay. Well, you're shooting for the stars.
$1 million a day.
Okay. Well, I bought a Megabucks ticket today, so we'll see.
Yes, we have to win the lottery.
All right, let's go back a little bit. So, like we've said before, anybody that's in Southern Oregon, just to kind of give you an idea, I did look what it would be like if we were going to fly as opposed to drive. And, honestly, you're saving money if you drive, if you have 4 or more people. You're going to save some time if you fly, but then you have to worry. And like Paul and I were saying, there's a lot of different factors that go into this. If you drive, it's at your convenience when you want to leave. You're not reliant on getting back to the airport and having to check in. Now, this drive was a long drive.
It was. It took us about 10 hours to get down there.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, when Chad Googled it or when he mapped it out, he thought it was going to take us less than 10 hours. But that wasn't taking account traffic or anything. So with traffic, we did hit some traffic in Sacramento area. And so, it took us about 10 hours getting down there. And that was hauling pretty good. I mean, we made very minimal stops. We packed snacks. I think we only stopped a couple of times for potty breaks and to get some gas.
Yeah.
And another option that you can do too, depending on how much time and money you have to spend, you can break up the trip a little bit. If you leave Southern Oregon, if you leave, you can break it up and stop in Sacramento or halfway, and then get up and go the next day, the rest of the way. And we contemplated doing that, but we ultimately decided that it would be worth driving all the way through.
Yeah.
Which I'm really happy that we did that because we were, limited on time for us. So we only had the opportunity to have Saturday and Sunday in the park. So if we would have split it up, if we would have left Friday night and stayed halfway, then we would have had to have woken up like really early Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And get that way we could get to the park. We would have been super tired still. We still would have had to drive like 4 or 5 hours.
So we'd want to get up at like 3 in the morning.
That just sounded like a horrible option for us. So that's why we decided to go all the way through.
We pretty much were on electronics the whole time though.
Well, not on the way there. So we chose not to take the girls have iPads. We chose not to take them. They had books and activity books and
I wouldn't recommend
other
that.
things to do. But I mean, definitely it would be helpful to have an iPad. On the way home, they were definitely asking for our phones to watch movies and stuff.
That's a long time in the car, right?
I asked, should I bring my iPad? But you said, no, you shouldn't bring your iPad.
Well, we did say, because how many books did you check out from the library? You had a ton of activity books. And
3.
Anyways, we learned from it, right? So your advice would be to take an electronic device to break it up a little bit. And definitely, pack snacks and
when we got to this one part, there were so many cows that it stunk bad.
Yeah, going through certain parts of California.
Right, that trip from Southern Oregon down there is not the prettiest. I mean, you're from here to Sacramento is pretty, but it's hilly and it's lots of mountains, but then once you get past Sacramento, it's pretty flat and there's There's not very green, so
Chad drove most of the way.
It's rough, yeah, and that's how it went. You know, I drove most of the way, and then we hit some traffic. We hit bad traffic in Sacramento, of course, and then I needed a break, which I hate. I hate doing.
Let's say what really happened.
I had an energy drink, my second of the day, and then I got a little stressed, and I was like,
between the traffic and everything, and then we talked it out, and we figured out that I think you had like a little mini panic attack.
Maybe. I guess I was frustrated more than anything because what I had seen in this trip that I had never seen before, and this drives me nuts, there were so many vehicles in the passing lane that would not get over, and it had got to a point where I was just boiling.
He had road rage, you guys. It was insane, and I was literally having to calm him down. And then when I knew that he told me, he's like, I need you to step in and drive. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like, and I had offered to split it up, but when we go on road trips, Chad feels like it's his duty, his job to drive us everywhere.
Yeah.
There's only been like one or two other times to where he's actually asked me to help him drive, but so I contributed 2 whole hours to that trip, but he was able to eat some food, calm down, drink some water, and we decided that he probably shouldn't have more than one energy drink in a day.
I had never seen that many people over in the fast lane. I still don't understand it. Speed limit was 70, and they'd be in the fast lane at going 71, 72, and
nobody moves over.
It was
so frustrating. It is super frustrating.
But we made it. You know, we left at 10 in the morning, and we got there 9 at night. Right?
So it was like 9. It was about 8. It was like 11 to 8.
That was on our way home.
No, on the way home, it was like 11 hours and 15 minutes, but we stopped a bunch of times. But going down there.
Yeah. Anyways, left lane drivers are annoying. Nobody uses cruise control. So be prepared if you're driving to
for sure.
Maybe pack some lavender oil or something calming and soothing to calm your nerves.
A face mask or something.
Yeah, and gas is really expensive right now, but overall I think we spent, I don't know, around $300 on gas, and that was in our truck that doesn't get good fuel mileage. We drove the truck just because
it's more comfortable.
It's more comfortable, and we feel safer. You could definitely do it a lot cheaper.
So I mean, it was a good road trip. I mean, it was fine. Made it down there, made it to the hotel, got checked in. It was such a relief just to get checked in, and everything went smoothly from there. I think we were able to get to bed by 9, 10 o'clock at the latest. Because when we got there Friday night,
it was like 9. We were gonna go to sleep because you were like, "Do you guys want to go down and swim at the pool?" We're like, "No, we're too tired. We just want to go to sleep. So in the morning will be better."
Yeah, we want to get a good night's sleep because day 1 in the park hours were...
Before we get into you going over our days, I want to talk about tickets and pricing.
Oh, no, I was just going to say what time the park was open. So that's why we were, going to sleep. Like Soph said, they were going to swim and stuff, but we were just tired from the drive. So we got to bed. We knew we wanted to get up about 6:30 so we could get some food, breakfast, and then get ready. That way we could leave the hotel by 7 just to give us plenty of time to walk. And Chad had previously done some research that the park was opening a little bit early. So day 1 in the park for us, the park hours were 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So it was plenty of time.
It opened kind of close to 7:45 though.
The first day,
7:40 I think it was.
15 minutes early, and the second day I think it opened 30 minutes early.
So Chad will tell you kind of what he did for our tickets. One thing that I'll say is that make sure that you download the Universal Studios Hollywood app before you go. And this will have all the details as far as your park hours, and your ride requirements as far as height requirements and your wait times and everything. So that will be extremely helpful for you.
Yeah, definitely. And you can also have your tickets on there too, to where you can just scan your tickets on your phone. You can print them off too, but I think we found it was kind of nice just to have it on your phone where you can just scan it. Okay, tickets. So I feel like I made a mistake on these tickets. There's plenty of different options, but a recent sale came up, and it was buy one day, get one free. And just so you know the pricing on that. So it was $134 per adult, $128 per child. That was per ticket. So we spent $524 for the tickets for 2 days. You know, that wasn't a bad price overall. Not bad, actually.
That was pretty good.
No, yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, you figure you're spending less than $70 a day to get into the parks. That's cool with all they have to offer. But here's something to think about, getting a season pass. And I had thought about getting the season pass, and there's different options, and you can get on the app like Paula said, and you can look at those different options. Now, if you get the lower tier, there's a lot of blackout dates. So there's a lot of weekends that aren't available. There's just a lot of days overall. I think there's 4 different tiers. The one I was looking at was the 3rd overall tier, and I think it was $299 a ticket per person, and you would have unlimited season pass to be able to go as many times as you want. It had a few blackout.
You said like maybe 30 blackout dates for the whole year.
Yep, for the whole year. I mean,
which is not really
weekends,
that many.
So
that's only a month of blackout.
And the only reason I didn't get that is because it was more money at the time. But here's the thing: you get 15% off if you have that annual pass. Anytime you go to the restaurants at City Walk, anytime you buy something.
Oh, that's cool.
My intentions going into this was we weren't going to spend much money on merchandise, but I'm an idiot, and I should have known that any time I want to be that great dad, and I see that you girls want something, and you girls definitely did have your own money too, but all the money that we spent on robes and dinner and lunch and all of that, if we had the annual pass, we could have got 15% off.
You girls melted your dad's heart.
Right. Wait, would we be able to, like, even for us, if we paid, we'd get 15% off?
Well, yeah. We would have shown our annual pass. And the prime example of that is at one point, skipping ahead, Sophie and I were at the park by ourselves, and we decided we wanted to buy some Harry Potter robes, right?
And surprise Olivia.
Right, and surprise Olivia.
Because they were at the pool.
So here's the story. We went up, we had the robe, and the guy said, "Do you have an annual pass?" And I said, "No." And then he said, "Are you a veteran?" I said, "No." I said, "Man, I would love to be able to get some sort of a discount, but I'm not going to lie about being a veteran." And he said, he kind of paused for a little bit, and then he said, "Well, since you were so honest, I'm going to give you the discount anyway."
It was like a 35% discount.
Right. So that robe that was normally $152 turned out to be like $97, $98.
Yeah.
So those are the that was $50 right there alone by itself, that if you had that annual pass.
But yeah, we had a heart-to-heart conversation before going, saying, okay, we're on a budget. We're not going to spend money on merchandise or anything like that. So we were going to try our hardest, and then I let you two loose for 5 minutes, and you go crazy.
Yeah, that's where we got Olivia's robe, and we were going to go see if a bigger robe would fit me, because they didn't have extra small. They only had extra small. And so we went to this other place. It didn't fit me. So we're like, oh, we should have just stayed at the other place. We would have got a discount for that too.
Yeah, but this is just a prime example. Even though your intentions are to not buy souvenirs or merchandise, especially if you have kids, keep in mind they will pull at your heartstrings and you will give in. So keep all of that in mind. I know you.
Oh, you two definitely asked about multiple different things. Yes, the robe was my idea. But how about all the other little things like the snake and the fox and Krusty Burgers?
Hey, I said I was gonna buy it because we still had a little bit of money left.
So you girls did have some of your own money too. Yes,
yeah, but
definitely.
that's the thing. These parks are so expensive. So keep that in mind. I mean, Olivia, we got that one snake.
It was so tiny.
Tiny.
And it was
right?
It was so tiny, and it was $30. And there was this
like $37.
No, it was $30. And there was this other one that was bigger than it, and it was like $22.
That didn't make sense to me. No, other than the one that you got had a little scarf, and it was green.
I know.
The other one was 3 times the size.
Yeah.
Kind of just brown or something.
Yeah, it was
anyway.
brown.
But yeah, even all the butterbeers and everything that we could have got 15% off. So definitely, I would say for anybody that's going to go there, honestly, even if you're just going there once, like get the season pass. But if you're going there twice, get the season pass.
I think it depends on
mistake on my fault.
Yeah, maybe it depends on where you live and stuff too. But I mean, we live way up, Southern Oregon, so it's at least 10 hours down there. I mean, we would consider going a couple times a year, for sure. So I think
the girls
we could,
wouldn't like that.
What? That's not. Excuse me, but how much is the annual pass again?
The one that I was looking at, which is the third tier, it was $299 per person.
Per person?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Olivia could try to pay for ourselves.
That's really sweet, and we can plan some stuff out to try to. We can have a yard sale or do something to save some money.
Because otherwise, that'd be like $12,000 just for all three of us.
Wow, that's some really bad math.
Wait, it's
what's 300 times 4?
12,000.
12,000 or 1,200? 3, 6, 9, 1,200. All right. Anyway, babe, can you kind of go into our day one?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was so impressed with myself, first of all, I must say. I mean, it took 2 trips to Orlando to get me prepared for this trip. This felt like a walk in the park. This was a piece of cake for me going here. Like Chad said, just the park and everything was more intimate compared to Orlando. So like we said earlier, the park hours were 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. the first day that we were there. So we left our hotel at 7 a.m. And it took us about 8 to 10 minutes to walk there. We had to go through security, which goes pretty quickly. And then we just waited to get into the park.
We were first in line.
We were first in line. Yeah, which was really
exciting.
Cool. I don't know how it got brought up, but Sophie's birthday got brought up, and they gave her a birthday pin to wear.
Yeah, so I got a birthday pin and it said my name on it. So everywhere I went, they'd wish me a happy birthday.
Yeah, so on top of everyone being extremely friendly and nice and welcoming, they were saying happy birthday. So it took Sophie a minute to really kind of catch on to that. I think it was a little surprising to you at first. You're like, oh, thank you. Like, even though you knew it wasn't your real birthday and stuff, we really celebrated your birthday for the 2 days at the park there.
Yeah, we did.
So that was really cool. Chad kind of had once again done some research on kind of what our plan of attack should be going into the park. And so he had a plan. So the park is divided into an upper lot and a lower lot. So on the lower lot, you have Jurassic World, The Mummy, and Transformers.
Yeah.
And so Jurassic World and The Mummy are both really popular rides that the wait times can get pretty long later on in the day. So the first day we were there, as soon as the park opened, we started walking through, and then people started running. So we were literally running through the park, which was actually kind of cool.
And we were first in line to the lower lot. And there were 4 or 5 escalators, and they were super long.
Yeah, so when you go down to the lower lot, you're going to have several sets of escalators. So you can choose to go down stairs. They have just normal stairs, which at one point we did do that going down. But the first time down, since no one was in front of us, we just took the escalators and we didn't just stand there. We plowed through, we ran through down. So that was really cool and exciting, kind of a little rush just to try to be the first in line. So we went to Jurassic World first.
First ride.
We
got front row.
Front row.
Yeah, Chad got front row. So if you're going to go on the Jurassic World ride, it's a river adventure. It is so much fun. The one in Orlando was so much fun, but now that we can compare the two, this one was so much better. The one in Orlando is more geared to Jurassic Park. This one's more geared to Jurassic World. But when you go on the ride, if you sit in the front right, you're definitely going to get wet there.
Yeah, that was
you
definitely
might get
me.
splashed
even if you're
a
just
little
in
bit.
the front.
Yeah, in the front you'll get pretty wet. Would you say soaked? Would you say soaked? Were you pretty soaked?
My lower body was completely drenched.
But throughout the rest of the boat, I mean, I would say that you might get splashed, but not soaked. But I would say be prepared to get some water on you.
Yeah.
And some requirements on this ride, just so you know, you have to be at least 42 inches. So that wasn't a problem for us.
Yeah.
Guests between 42 and 48 inches must be accompanied by a supervising companion. They have child swap, and then they have single rider, which we did take advantage of.
Once, last night we went on Jurassic World. We did single rider. Me and Olivia were in the same boat together, but I'm gonna say mine first, Olivia. Mine, the people next to me, I couldn't understand a word they were saying, and I looked at this girl's phone because she brought it out, and it said 2039 on it. I'm like, what does that mean? And like at the very beginning, the lap bar barely went down. So when I got to bigger drops, I was like, my arm was around the lap bar holding onto my wrist so I wouldn't fall out. And I was like, I wanted to hold on to Olivia, but like
she was behind you.
No, she was in front of me.
Oh, in front of you. Okay.
Yeah, Shelly was behind me.
So this was the first time doing single rider. We were kind of being impatient. We didn't want to wait the full, 40, 50 minutes?
Yeah, so those of you who don't know what single rider is, you basically you are not guaranteed to ride with any other person in your party. So we did that ride earlier in the day, and it was 45, 50 minutes. But if you do single rider, it usually cuts it in half, basically. But you're going to ride it separate. So I went first. And then the girls were like 3 cars behind me, and then Paula was another car. Boat behind. So that's kind of how that works.
And then Olivia, what was your experience on the?
So on that one, there was these people that were like a little bit bigger, and I was on the very edge, and when you pulled the thing down,
the lap bar,
it was like barely on me because they couldn't pull it down any further. And I was even scarier.
More scared.
Yeah, more scared because I was on the edge too. I was on the very edge. And the thing was barely on me. And I was so scared that I was going to fall out of the boat the whole time. But thankfully I didn't. And when we went down, like, there's this picture that takes a picture on you. I did not crack a smile because I was so scared that I was going to fall out of the boat. Like, I was panicking the whole time.
Yeah.
I think they should have had, I thought they should have had, individual lap bars. So you could adjust it.
That would be cool. That's how this ride is. It's just one bar that goes across, and basically the biggest person is as far as down as it's going to go. I mean, even for me, it never came down anywhere near my lap. So, yeah. But I haven't told you girls, I'm super proud of you. And that was a really cool moment for me as a dad, as a parent, the fact that you girls were strong enough to be able to do that. You were strong enough to be able to go on a single rider and ride with random people in an amusement park, but knowing that it was still safe. And then I was there at the end. Your mom was there behind you. I'm super proud of you girls for doing that. That's really cool.
Except one night, me and you went, or it wasn't a night, it was just a day. Me and you went to ride the Mummy. And we decided we wanted to do single rider. It cut off 20, 30 minutes. And when we got to the end, I was kind of scared because I wasn't sure about doing the single rider. And then we finally got to the end. I was super scared. I didn't want to ride by myself. And Daddy had his arms around me. And so the guy, thankfully, he put me in front and Daddy right behind me.
Yeah, we got lucky on that one.
Yeah, we did.
All right, after Jurassic World.
Yeah, so after that first ride, then we went over to the Mummy ride. And so we were able to do that back to back. We did that twice.
Walk on.
It was a walk-on ride.
Yeah, there was nobody there, so we took advantage of that. And then after that, we went onto the Transformers ride. But But going back to the Mummy ride, so the requirements for that, it's more of like a thrill ride, roller coaster that goes up to about 45 miles per hour. You have to be at least 48 inches to ride this. And I feel like kind of a general rule is if you're taking your kids, if you want to just be 100% sure they can ride all the rides, 48 inches is that mark that you want them to be.
Yeah, at this park for sure.
Yeah.
48 inches, you can ride everything.
I mean, 42 inches, you can still get to do quite a bit, but 48 inches is kind of the ultimate.
For like everything.
And I think this is really important. At this park not so much, but like Universal Orlando, I mean, yeah, if you're not 48 inches, that's going to be real tough. But for this park, for Hollywood, if your kid's 48 inches, you get to do everything.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And that's something that I would try to
consider.
wait for.
Mm-hmm. To make it worth your while, to make it worth your money, worth your while, and experience overall. So for the Mummy, 48 inches, they do have child swap and single rider available, which Chad and Sophie got to experience as well. So then they have also down there in the lower lot other food options. We did get some Starbucks to kind of fill up before we were kind of ready for lunch, I felt like at that point, but it was still pretty early. Most of the places weren't opening till 10:30, 11 o'clock for food and stuff. So,
but you girls hate the Mummy though, right?
That's not true.
Mummy's awesome.
Yeah. We didn't get to ride that when we went to Orlando earlier this year. So that was pretty cool that we got to ride it so much this time.
Definitely do the Mummy for sure.
So that was kind of our plan of attack that first day, get the lower lot, most popular rides done first. And then after that, we went back up to the upper lot. And
we did Transformers.
Yeah,
we said that.
Oh. Yeah, she said that.
Oh, that's okay. I did say Transformers. I didn't go into those details. So Transformers is a 3D 4D ride. It's a flight simulation. And it's actually, I thought it was really cool. So that one you have to be at least 40 inches. And guests between 40 and 48 inches must be accompanied by a supervising companion. They do have child swap and single rider available, I saw also. So yeah, we did that ride just one time, but it was longer than what I remember, and it was pretty cool. I remember when we were in Orlando, it broke down a couple times on us, so I don't think we got to fully experience it. But so once we did those rides down the lower lot, then we went back up to the upper lot, and Chad really wanted to do the studio tour, which he had done some research on. And I was really happy that we did it. So this is a tour that's an hour long to do. I know that sounds kind of long, especially if you have littles, but it was totally worth it for us. You kind of get to learn some of the secrets of Hollywood movie making.
There was like Jaws. Jaws came out of the water when we were by the lake. There was like the Kong ride, Fast and Furious. And at this one point, we were in this like train area where there's subways and stuff. And all of a sudden, there was like a flood of water coming down that actually got you a little bit wet. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
and one time
really cool.
we were outside, and they're like, this is where they did a flood in a movie. And so they let down the flood, and it like splashed so big, like on the wall, that it actually did splash us a little bit.
That was where they showed like the thunder and lightning and
they also showed thunder and lightning and like rain.
That was really cool.
And in one part there was where they showed the car, like some cars, like from Fast and the Furious, the car from Harry Potter,
Scooby-Doo,
Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to the Future,
the mystery. What's it called?
Jurassic Park, Jurassic World.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there was also this like the ball thing in like the Jurassic World movies or Jurassic Park. And I think it was Jurassic Park. They have like the round balls.
I think it's a gyrosphere. Oh man, I don't know what that's called. I think it's something like that. But that was cool too.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And then they had the Nope. I know none of us have actually seen that.
I don't want to see that.
No, so it's the original Jupiter's Claim set. Is that what it is? From the movie Nope. It's
Sounds about right.
It's like a horror movie. So I don't know if that's actually came out yet, but
yeah, it's out.
Is it out? Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to see that before we went. We just weren't able to see. Obviously, you girls aren't going to see that. So, but yeah, I got to say about the studio tour, and I don't know if you have anything else to say about that. I was really looking forward to it. I was I loved every part of it. It was one of those things that you could just sit back, chill.
Yeah.
You got to see where some movies are made. They had, what was the show that I like so much?
Jimmy Fallon?
No, he was the host
hosting
with Kristen Bell. Oh my gosh.
Oh, The Good Place.
The Good Place. So that's where they made that, and I got to see that set. They had Wisteria Lane there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really cool. And you got to see some behind-the-scenes stuff. There was a section that we didn't get to go into. I think maybe you do normally, but there was nighttime showings, I guess, on this tour. If you go during the week, there are times where you have to stop because they're actually doing a real...
Filming.
Oh, yeah, they're doing filming, and you have to be quiet. I would love to go back and see all the props and go into one of the studios and see the inner makings of everything. But overall, I thought the studio tour, I don't know what... If
I
you
thought it
girls,
was
you
really
girls probably
cool.
didn't
It's
love
worth
as
doing
much as
once.
I
I would
did,
say at least doing...
At first, I was kind of bored, but then I'm like, ooh, this is cool.
Yeah, a lot of history. I mean, they explained that they use every bit of the park for filmmaking, and you get to see all the buildings of all the studios and stages and everything. So definitely check that out.
Check it out, and I would definitely recommendation. I would say go to the bathroom before you go. Make sure you eat or whatever you need to do.
Because it is an hour long.
Yeah, it's
after
a long
we were
tour.
done with that, we were hungry. We got to go to we were in the Simpsons area, Simpsons Land. So we decided to go to the Krusty Burger restaurant. So
they
Sophie
wanted like chicken and stuff, and I wanted like a crust or a burger or something.
Right, so they had a couple different restaurants there. So you wanted a burger or something. So that's when we went to the Krusty Burger restaurant. You got the Rib Witch and a Buzz Cola.
Yeah,
and you liked it?
Yeah, it was really good.
And so Chad and I, we wanted to try, it was Cletus Chicken Shack that we hadn't tried before. So Chad got the waffle chicken sandwich, and Olivia and I shared some chicken strips and fries. We also
really
had
corn.
some duff ears. So our Olivia's and mine that we shared, I mean, it wasn't anything special, just chicken strips, fries, meh. I wouldn't get that again, but it came with corn. It was like frozen corn. It just tastes like fake corn. Unfortunately, it wasn't good. I couldn't eat it, unfortunately. How was your waffle sandwich?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I was impressed with it. I did want to get a Krusty Burger too, but I had already had that before, so I wanted to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I regret not getting my Krusty Burger.
No, I don't regret it because I wanted to try that particular place. And I will say about Simpsons Land here, this land to me is incredible, and I like how different it is from Orlando because it's not like all condensed into one little thing, like all the food. In Orlando is like a big food court, whereas they had individual restaurants, which I thought was really cool. Lots of outdoor seating.
Again, more intimate, more detailed.
More intimate.
Yeah. I think I like this Simpsons Land better than the one in Orlando because I feel like that this one has because it has the quick emote.
Which was,
And it has Moe's Tavern.
Tavern,
and it has Krusty Burger, Cletus's Chicken Shack, and Moe's Tavern. They were all lined up together, and you can just walk into each one. All three are connected.
And they had the taco truck there, Bumblebee's taco truck, which we had eaten in Orlando. We didn't eat here this time, but
but even looking at it from outside, I mean, it just felt more immersive. You could see the nuclear power plant. You could see the schoolyard.
It was very detailed.
You could see...
and so there is a Simpsons ride. It's a virtual roller coaster. At this point, we didn't ride it. We didn't ride it till day 2, actually.
Because the line was too long. An hour long.
Well,
it was too long by the time we got back up there.
Because we did Lower Lot first.
Yeah, and that ride's really popular.
Yeah, we want to do Lower Lot, get the studio tour done. So with doing all of that, that definitely kind of set us later on the day to where Simpsons ride was already kind of long. So once we were done with getting some food and just kind of in awe of the scenery there in Simpsons Land, we decided to do the Kung Fu Panda adventure. So this is a kid-friendly, I didn't see any minimum requirements or anything like that, but it's like a theater that you go into. What would you say is a 3D?
It was like a 3D. No, it wasn't
theater.
3D, was it?
3D 4D theater. I mean, Shrek used to be there, right?
You didn't have glasses, but the seat moved and it vibrated, and then they shot some water and things like that.
It felt like a back massage.
It was cool.
It was almost like a simulation, more of a simulation.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know.
It's okay.
It was fine. It's worth doing once. Again, if you have littles, they're going to love it.
And one thing we haven't talked about yet, because we kind of fast forwarded through, but we haven't talked about ride times really. When you get there first thing in the morning, the ride times are
very minimal, 20 minutes or less.
But man,
in the middle of the day,
as the afternoon and the evening goes on, it gets a little crazy. So definitely get there early. Like we said on the Mummy, we were able to walk right on and do it back to back. We probably could have done the Mummy 4 times in a row. We could have done Jurassic Park. Well, we did Jurassic Park twice, and they were both basically walk-ons. But later in the day, it's an hour to an hour and a half for a lot of these rides. So get there early. It's
definitely worth getting there early. And I learned this in Orlando. You know, Chad's like, I want to get to the park right when it opens. And I was kind of him-hawing around and, what's the big deal? Well, I mean, it's a huge deal. I mean, 20, 30 minutes, it means another hour of waiting sometimes. I mean, it's totally worth it. So stick to getting there right when the park opens, if not a little bit before, so that way you don't have to wait in line so long. And so that can be kind of tough when you have littles too, assuming you're going to this park. If you have littles, it can be kind of, I mean, you girls even were kind of struggling a little bit to wait. I mean, I feel like I was getting tired of waiting at times, and
it's because we were like used to the express pass.
Well, and that's what I was just going to go into. So those are the different options. You can just get the regular base ticket, and you wait in line with all the peasants. And these girls were not used to doing that, because in Orlando we had stayed at hotels where we got Express Pass. Express Pass basically allows you to get into a separate line that is almost always half the time or less. We didn't do that this time, because the way the Express Pass works in Hollywood is that with taxes, it was basically about $200 for this time of year. It changes during the year, and if it's peak time or not. When we were there with taxes, it was about $200 more per person to be able to get Express Pass. And in Hollywood, all that did is allow you to get to that line one time per ride. So we
couldn't do it unlimited.
Right.
So let's say you wanted to do Jurassic World. You did Jurassic World with your Express Pass. You wanted to do it again with your Express Pass. But you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, just once.
Yeah, so it's crazy. I mean, it's way more than what it is just to go there with your park ticket. So it didn't make sense to us. So those are the options you have to weigh and you have to look at too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I'm glad that you didn't get fast passes, express passes, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, don't talk about Disney.
Oh, excuse me.
It's fast pass.
Same concept.
So Kung Fu Panda, I mean, girls,
it was
you'd say it was worth waiting. I mean, we waited for maybe 30 minutes. Time. It was worth doing once. It was fine.
Yeah.
Then we
Nothing
wanted
special.
a butterbeer.
Then we wanted butterbeer, so we finally went to Hogsmeade at that point.
Wait, did you want a butterbeer, Sophie?
Yes.
You had been telling us that for about 2 hours previously.
What was one of the things that we learned, and I should have realized this, and I think it was kind of a, moment once we got in there. The lines tend to be really long at the butterbeer stand. So typically there's 2 butterbeer stands. And when we got in there, the lines were ridiculous. But we went into Hog's Head, and that's kind of like a bar next to the Three Broomsticks restaurant. And there was like 2 people in front of us. There was no line, I would say. So they have butterbeer in there for sure, but they also have other drinks, beverages. Like Chad was able to order a hard apple cider with Fireball whiskey. He was looking for a little something tasty. And then I had this, they called it a Bung Barrel spiced mead. It was kind of a honey flavored light beer champagne almost. It was actually pretty tasty. It was
14%.
14%. It was a vintage oak matured beer, basically. But it kind of reminded me of like a honey champagne kind of. So anyways, keep that in mind. If you're going for butterbeer, keep Hog's Head in mind to go in there. It looks like it wouldn't be kid friendly or because it's kind of a bar setting, but you can go in there. You can order your drinks. You can get some water, butter beers, regular beer, apple cider, hard cider. Did they have the pumpkin drinks there too? The pumpkin fizz.
So.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That was at Three Broomsticks.
Which is, they're both connected. You have your restaurant and then you have the bar. We did go to the restaurant the next day, which we'll get to. But keep in mind with Hogsmeade, they have 2 rides. They have Flight of the Hippogriff, which is a family roller coaster that we ended up doing.
Forbidden Journey, I was asking for forever. The first day we didn't get to do it though because the line was so long for both those rides that we didn't even get to do them that day.
Yeah, and we had that plan that we would have 2 days, so we kind of knew we would have another day to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But just some of the requirements on the ride. So Flight of the Hippogriff, you have to be at least 39 inches. Guests between 39 and 48 inches must be accompanied by a supervising companion. There is not child swap on this one, and there is no single rider. We did do that one night, and I don't know.
I waited like 45 minutes.
My own recommendation is if it's anything over 30 minutes,
don't do it.
I don't know if this ride is worth it.
Because it's only like
personally.
30 seconds.
The ride's very short.
Super quick.
I wish that they would go around twice at least.
Yeah.
That would make it a little more worth it, I think.
And Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey is my favorite ride at these parks.
It's pretty fun.
You get to go into Hogwarts. So the queue is amazing. You get to walk through Hogwarts. You get to see
the castle.
You get to see everything in the movies. And then you ride this ride to where you are basically on a broomstick and you go on this ride that is basically a little bit of real life features and screens. So you kind of go back and forth. This ride's awesome. You need to be 48 inches on this ride.
Yeah, they're very strict on that.
And they do have single rider. We keep seeing child swap. So basically what that is, it's really cool at Universal to where your whole family can
wait in line.
And then at the end of the line, they have a room to where if you have a little one that can't ride, one parent can go into that room, and then when the other 2 people get back, then you can ride it. So that's awesome.
If it's just 2 adults and you have a baby, and you take turns basically. It's a place where you can swap the kid out so the parents or the people who want to ride the ride can get on. So that's a pretty cool option, I think.
Yeah, and
that way you don't have to wait outside of the ride.
And Hogsmeade has so much more to offer. I mean, we didn't do Ollivanders, which is basically just like the movie. You go in, there's someone that's chosen to...
I was chosen last time.
Yeah, you were chosen, so that's awesome. There's also, you buy the interactive wand, which we already had, and you get to do some spells throughout the park.
That's really cool.
Really cool. And then they have lots of other stores and great shopping and stuff like that. We're huge Harry Potter fans, so Hogsmeade is awesome.
Yeah, and even though that's definitely our favorite, we didn't get to do those rides the first day, but we knew the next day we would be getting to do them. So once we got our butterbeer fix, there was a Waterworld show that, once again, Chad had heard great reviews on. So this is a show, there's specific show times for you to go to. So you want to look at that app and see what time the show's going to start. So this was super cool. It was like a big stadium. You sit on bleachers, and it's one of a kind live stunt show, basically, with explosions, fire, boat, jet skis, water. You get wet if you sit in
a green seat.
Certain areas.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of talent.
Bummed. You're kind of bummed we weren't in those green seats, right?
It was kind of warm at that point too. It was afternoon. It was kind of getting hot.
Yeah, because we were like in the front row still. And we thought you only had to be in the front row to get wet, but you have to be in a green spot to get wet.
Yeah, and the reason we did that show, we were kind of all starting to wear down a little bit.
Yeah.
We needed a break.
And
that's
all the
cool
rides
thing.
were really long.
Yeah.
Well, that's the cool thing about this park, though, is there are some shows that you can do, and you can sit down for a little while and you can see some real actors. And that's one of those shows that I thought was incredible. And
the actors were so talented.
Yeah, like it was really cool how they did that.
Yeah, and what I had heard going into it, a lot of those stunt people there, they're like real life stunt people on movies and stuff. And a lot of times whenever they don't have a job or a movie going on, they'll work there for Universal, and then they kind of rotate, and then they'll do their movies. So I think they did say one of those, I forgot what they said one of the stunt people was, but it was a popular movie.
I forget too.
Yeah, that they were on. But yeah,
did you like that show,
awesome.
Olivia?
Yeah.
So by that point, we were feeling pretty hot, a little worn down a little bit. So after that show, we kind of checked out. We went over. This is where that closed hotel came in handy for us. We went back to the pool at the hotel, and so that just felt really good. Getting in the pool, cooling down, having a little downtime. That night, Chad did make reservations for us for dinner at Antojitos. So we had a 5:00 dinner reservation. So we had, a couple hours to kind of hang out. We knew we were going to go to dinner, and then we knew we were going to go back into the park after dinner. So we have been to Antojitos before in Orlando, and the first time we went was really good. The second time, it wasn't such a great experience, but this time there at City Walk in Hollywood was by far our favorite, best experience at Antojitos. Hands down. It was so delicious. If you love Mexican food, check it out. All of the food was delicious. I mean, the girls just had a basic bean and cheese burrito, but
it was
the flour tortilla was
You said it was the best bean burrito you've ever had in your life.
It tasted homemade. I mean, it was legit. The
tortilla was really good.
And definitely, I had the house margarita with my food. It was fantastic. I gave that a 10 out of 10. I mean, we were so full. I think we ate a lot of food. We were so hungry, too, when we got there. We were just wanting chips and salsa. Chad had seen this pumpkin habanero dip that I was really surprised he got, because it sounded like kind of like a hummus dip to me. And
listen,
it did come with cucumber.
Hummus, I wouldn't have got it.
Right, but it said pumpkin
so
habanero.
I'm like, yes, let's do this.
So he did it, and he pulled the trigger.
I didn't like it.
And it was a little spicy for you, huh?
I tried it because I didn't know what habanero was.
Oh, no.
And I tried a big bite with a cucumber, and it was so spicy.
Yeah. But anyways, if you love Mexican food, if you even just like it a little bit, check it out. It's fantastic. So after we stuffed ourselves for dinner, we went back to the park.
Like, we couldn't get dessert.
No, we couldn't get dessert. We were so stuffed. Nope, not an option. So we went back to the park after that. Chad had, so for the Secret Life of Pets off the leash ride, there is an option, I believe later on in the day, not right away, but to do a virtual line. So Chad had put a request of, it gives you different options for different times. So he had requested a specific time for us to go back to do that ride to get in that queue.
Yeah, because when it gets super long, there's a virtual line.
So it's a virtual line. So you have to go on the app to specify what time you're going to go back. And then when you go to get in line, you show them your phone, and do they scan it, or what did they do?
Yeah, so they scanned it. So going back, first thing in the morning, this ride is a walk-on. Once it seemed like once it got over 60 minutes, then it became a virtual queue to where you would go back at another time. But here's the thing with virtual queue. Even though you have that time to come back, you will still wait in line for a while. I mean, we did it again the second day, and we waited for 50 minutes, I think.
It was super long.
50.
Yeah, it was a long time. And it was tough.
A little short story on this is we had booked this queue for earlier in the day. I think it was between like 2:40 and 3:20. Well, we didn't make that. So basically what happened was we did dinner. We got back. I went to the front of the line. I'm like, I just played kind of stupid. And I said, hey, I put the wrong time. And he's like, hey, no problem. And going back to how nice everybody was here at this park, I wish we would have got that guy. We should have actually got some of the team members' names because they were all so great.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, he's like, yeah, no problem. And just scanned it on our phone.
Would you say it was like 15 minutes?
That first time, that first time. I don't know why it was so different
Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying they did scan your phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scan my phone, and then we got on, and that queue.
It's very cool.
Awesome. I thought that ride was really that cool. Ride was way better than I expected.
Yeah, me too.
It was a kiddie ride, and it's basically one of those ones where
it is kid friendly. You only have to be 34 inches.
Right, and the whole family can ride this ride. The queue is awesome because you're basically going through the apartment. If you've seen the movie, very similar to that. And then once you get on the ride, the whole premise is you are a dog that is going to be adopted. So you're in this cart. There's 2 people per cart, and it's basically a cardboard box. And then you're going through it, and then they scan your face, and you become a dog.
Yeah, so cool.
Which was awesome.
It's so realistic, colorful.
Yeah. I didn't look cute. Mommy and Olivia, once I rode with Mommy, and she was super cute, and I was ugly. And the next time I went with Olivia, I was the same dog, and she got the cute puppy.
It was fun. It was really fun. There's no child swap, no single rider on this one, just because it's more of geared to family friendly, kid friendly. So yeah, make sure your kids are 34 inches to be able to get on that one.
Yeah.
So let's see, finishing up our day after the Secret Life of Pets, we went to another show. We went to the special effects show. So this is a 25-minute long show. Again, very cool, worth doing once. We were in a big theater. Yeah, we were in a big theater, and there were some live people hosting it, and they kind of gave us some secrets of Hollywood movie making, some stunts and practical effects and up-to-date technology of how they bring the movie to life, basically.
And, once they showed how they could set someone on fire.
Yeah, they actually did put some special stuff on this guy, and they actually lit him on fire. He was on fire for 12 seconds.
He was on fire. No, it was 18 seconds. He was on fire.
Yeah.
It was 18.
Oh, okay.
They were trying to get to 12, and he got all the way to 18.
Yeah.
Before they put him out.
It was
Before
pretty
that,
impressive.
What they do, they did some knife thing, right?
Oh, yeah. So what they do
is
they have a rubber knife, and they cut it into your arm, and they make it look like they're cutting the person's arm, but it's really just a fake rubber knife, and it makes a slit when you start cutting into it, and you could squirt out blood. I want that, but it's $60.
It's really cool. It looks really realistic, too, I think. It's impressive.
Yeah, that whole show I thought was really cool. So one thing to keep in mind, if you don't like people next to you, this isn't the show for you, because this was a big theater.
They pack you in there like enchiladas.
They pack you in. I mean, they use every single spot. I mean, I'd say there was probably at least 300, 400 people in this small area.
And then we were kind of towards the top, and anyways, there was people in front of us that were just moving around nonstop, kept hitting our knees, and I mean, we really tried to just sit there not move and be respectful and everything, but sometimes not everyone is like that. So
there was that girl in front of us, and she was a younger girl, but her hair basically was touching my leg the whole time, and there was nothing I could do. Your mom was getting frustrated, and I'm like, well,
and then she was eating a bag of chips. She had a bag of chips, and she was just chowing those down, and it was just crinkling, making noise, and it was just kind of sensory overload.
Yeah, but that show was cool. I'm glad we did this special effects show.
Yeah,
definitely worth doing one time.
And after that, we went to Hogsmeade again. We went to Hogshead, and we wanted a hot butterbeer for the show, but we didn't get one because they said you have to go to the
Three Broomsticks
to get it, and the line was really long there, and we didn't want to miss the first show, which was at 8:15.
Yeah, so we were there to watch the nighttime lights at Hogwarts Castle. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, getting all tongue-tied here, this is definitely a must. It's so cool. It's not a very long show, which I was actually really surprised. For some reason, I was expecting it to be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
At the end, your mom said,
I'm like, that's
is that it?
Yeah, first we went to Honeydukes and got big lollipops.
Oh, that's right.
And then we still have them right now. And
what do you think of the lights, good. Olivia?
I liked it.
Yeah, it was worth doing at least one time, huh? It was cool how they had the lights of each of the houses, and
that was me and Daddy's second time doing it.
It was
I
very
would like
colorful.
to do it every night. I think that show's amazing.
Well, and we got lucky because we were there till the park was open till 10. So that show was at 8:15. Other nights, the park isn't open that late. Like during the week, I've been noticing the park's open till 7. So I can't imagine they would do it. I mean, you need it to be dark. So yeah. So after we did that, we were pretty tired. We did not make it till closing. We did not make it till 10 p.m. After that, we were pretty tired. So we went back to our hotel. I think everyone's feet were throbbing and calves were sore, and it like just felt good to sit and put our feet up on the bed, huh?
Yeah.
That was a full day. I mean, we started at 7 o'clock, and we got back to our hotel room about 9:45.
No, it wasn't later than 9 o'clock. I'd say about 9 o'clock that first night. The second night it was later.
We fell asleep at like 10 though.
But yeah, because we were able to put our feet, we showered, we kind of chit-chatted about the day and did some window watching. And just kind of wound down from that. So I know that sounds like a lot, but that was just our first day there. We were just trying to give you guys as much of our experience as we could that first day. I think we'll definitely have to do a second show for day 2. Day 1 of Universal Hollywood. That probably sounds like a lot, but we try to make the most of our time when we're there. And it's just kind of our happy place, whether we're there at the park or step away to go to the pool, back to the hotel. So I thought it was a great day. Packed. It was fully packed, and I think we made the most of it for sure. Don't you think?
Yeah, of course. It is something that I love to do. Keep in mind, this is a full day. It's not the most relaxing day. If that's what you're going for, this probably isn't the place for you.
I mean, it could be. You could make it like that.
You could just hang out at your hotel, but I'd say this is not what that's for.
No, most definitely not. I mean, it's not worth. You want to make the most of the money. You know, you want to make it worth your money. Our goal is to make memories there in the parks. Do the rides, experience the food, the drinks, the atmosphere. That's what it's all about for us. So, with that being said, I think we have a lot more to share with you. We're definitely going to have to make a second part to this, I think.
Yeah, we're going to go over day 2. We're going to talk a little bit more about why we like this place, some of the hotel things a little bit more, and experiences, and then the trip home. So we'll get into that next episode. We'll do that. So thank you again. We really appreciate you guys for listening to our little podcast, our little startup. Like I've said before, definitely reach out and follow us on Facebook at the Daydreaming of Universal Studios Hollywood podcast, and then listen to us on however you listen to your podcast. Thank you again so much. We appreciate you.